Summerslam Night 2 review. First of all, I absolutely loved this. I do think Night 2 is a little bit better than Night 1. That's not to say Night 1 was bad, it's just my personal preference. The first match, Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus the Women's World Champion Naomi in a triple threat match, or a three-way. So, I would have preferred if this match had more of all three of them doing moves. For example, like I want to see like Rhea doing a move to Io, then to Naomi, or getting countered into another, not just like one-on-one. And I didn't really like the fact that Naomi won with a roll-up, but I suppose it's good though, because she could be like a Weasley heel. It's not as good as Io and Rhea in Evolution, or at Evolution, okay, or the triple threat match including Bianca, but still definitely worth a watch. I do think that, you should go back and watch this. A great opener to SummerSlam, especially Night 2. And it's nice to see that the women basically getting the recognition that they deserve. A good point in the match as well. Naomi did a split-legged moonsault to Rhea. And then you had Io Sky going to do her over the moonsault. Kind of like what happened at WrestleMania. But obviously, Naomi moved out the way, so she landed directly onto Rhea. All in all, I enjoyed it though. Then we had the greatest match in a long time, in my opinion. The six-way ladder match. The Wyatt Six versus DIY versus the Street Profits versus Andrade and Rey Fenix versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium. I think I got everyone there. Other people got involved, obviously like Uncle Howdy, Big Red Eric Rowan, Candice LeRae, B-Fab, all sorts. There was so many things to literally talk about. You had Uncle Howdy getting a sunset flip powerbomb onto a ladder off Andrade. You had a four-corner moment where it was like Dexter Lumis doing a leg drop to Montez Ford. Then you had Rey Fenix doing like a frog splash to, I forgot who was even there at the moment. You had another moment of another splash, which I forgot, which is brilliant. Because the moment to me, though, was Angelo Dawkins taking a Spanish fly from Axiom, from the top rope to the outside of the ring. Absolutely love that moment. Tommaso Ciampa was lying there for a bit. He's like, nah, I ain't taking that. See you later. Rolls off. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano of DIY going through four tables. A great spot. Candice LeRae going from one ladder in the ring to the outside across another ladder which broke. Absolutely fantastic bump. You got Nathan Fraser going for a moonsault, getting kicked in the face upside down. Love that. Right, but just before that, he goes for a spear because Tommaso Ciampa is hanging on the titles, but he decides to go upside down. It was just absolutely brilliant. It was also nice as well to see the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys in the audience and get some recognition, obviously, for the fact that they had the first TLC match at SummerSlam 2000, 25 years ago. Then we had Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Oh, by the way, the Wyatt Six won that match. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. So, we had Becky Lynch bringing out a kendo stick. Laura's like, I'm going to beat you, I'll bring out a crowbar. She's like, okay then. We had Lyra Valkyria getting zip tied, which is, I didn't like it. Because at one point her hands came free, but then she decided to put it back on. It would have made more sense if she just basically got her hands free and then got them re-tied back up. Then she couldn't get them off when she needed to, which made no sense, confusing. We had Bayley coming in to basically stop Becky Lynch from like caving in Lyra Valkyria's body. Because at this point she was unconscious, because she was trapped in a chair, getting swung around like a baseball bat, and like getting crushed in, stamped on. It's, pretty brutal. But in the end though, Bayley basically cost Lyra Valkyria the championship, and that's why Becky Lynch won, but it's no DQ, so it's actually alright. Can't really complain. This is probably one of the worst matches that they've had, but still a good enough match to watch. Then we go on to the steel cage match. Solo Sikoa defending his United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. It was just okay. The best parts to me, though, would probably got to be when Jacob Fatu got thrown into the cage and he basically just no-sold it. We also had Solo Sikoa kicking out 2 mighty moonsaults, even though no one ever has. MFT basically getting involved, obviously. Jimmy Uso getting involved. He was about as useful as nothing, really. I think he was just there to just kick up a couple of people. But it was on SummerSlam, though, so that was nice. Jacob Fatu got handcuffed with some child's handcuffs because he snapped it easier than you're supposed to, I assume. Solo Sikoa escaping through the door. Did he actually escape through the door? I can't remember the ending of the match, to be honest. It's been that long. I know. Which makes no sense in a cage match, but I think it's stupid. But in the end, though, you had him retaining. We had Solo Sikoa retaining the title. We had Jimmy Uso throwing in JC Mateo, Tama Tonga was already in the ring. Jacob Fatu hits a mighty moonsault from the top of the cage. That was fantastic, brilliant. I love that part. Then we go on to the Intercontinental Championship match, obviously the men's version this time. Dominic Mysterio defending against AJ Styles. AJ Styles comes out in a lowrider and wearing Eddie Guerrero's t-shirt, the Latino Heat one. Fantastic. Absolutely, I love that. We had Dominic Mysterio taking off the turnbuckle cover. Then he brings the chair into the ring, slaps it on the floor, throws it to AJ. AJ's up, nah, I ain't taking this. Opens his chair up, puts it over his own head, lies down. Referee turns around 6 years later and he's like, don't know what's going on here. I think Dominic Mysterio pulled AJ, so he obviously hit his dingle dangles. So when he's climbed the ropes later on, AJ does the same thing, so obviously Dom's hurt. But you can see Dom unzipping his boot. AJ going for the calf crusher. You can tell he's trying to help Dom get his boot off, but it's a nice callback though to when Eddie Guerrero did it to Kurt Angle in their championship match at WrestleMania 20. Dominic Mysterio ends up hitting a frog splash, I believe, and obviously gets the 1, 2, 3. So Dominic Mysterio is still your champion. Then we go on to the main event, the street fight. John Cena coming out with his plain black, right? And as soon as the beat drops, then all the colour comes out. He's there running with the cameraman, smiling, saluting. Absolutely fantastic. This was a street fight, but like to the level of what John Cena can do, which obviously I think is wonderful and fantastic. So we got loads of finishers. We had got cutters through tables off the top rope, super AAs, everyone kicking out of everything. The moment for me, which I really liked though, was the fighting through the crowd. John Cena gets like, I think suplex or backdropped onto a bit of guardrail. But where Cody came up through the actual ramp at the top, you had John Cena rising up with Cody on his shoulders, hits an AA. Right. But I absolutely love the fact that nobody interrupted. Okay, we had the bottom rope basically breaking. Well, basically it did break, and a bit of a callback to Umaga when John Cena basically wrapped around his neck and basically choked him out. Basically in this and now. Cody Rhodes getting out of that, and then in the end, right, Cody didn't want to hit Cena anymore, but he wanted the match to be over, so he hits one final crossroads, and then obviously he's your new WWE champion. John Cena hands Cody Rhodes the title, waits in the ring, appreciates what he's got because he's got like 4 months left before he retires. And then we get the return of Brock Lesnar. I don't know how I feel about this at the moment. I personally like watching Brock Lesnar wrestle, so we'll see. At least it's not going to be John Cena's last match, but it shouldn't be. Maybe they'll have a match at Clash in Paris. We'll see. But that's my review. Absolutely loved it. Not all of it was better though, but if I said to you watch any match whatsoever, go and watch the TLC match. Just saying about it isn't doing it justice. Well, let me know what you thought. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.